we're pleased to be joined now to start off our second hour of the show by Dustin McClellan. He is the founder and CEO of the Pontiac Community Foundation. Dustin, thanks for being back with us today.
Tyler, great to be with you and the team at the MegaCast. Always appreciate you guys having us out.
Yeah, appreciate having you on. So tell us a little bit what's been going on lately with the Pontiac Community Foundation.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tyler. You know, for those that may be hearing about us for the first time, the Pontiac Community Foundation is an independent 501c3 organization dedicated to building a brighter future for Pontiac. We really serve as a critical leadership organization in the city of Pontiac, at times serving as a funder, fiduciary, convener, thought leader, partner for programs, initiatives that we really feel will target strategic issues in the community of Pontiac. And so we've had a very vibrant summer. We've just wrapped up our Open Streets programming under what we call our neighborhood investment bucket, where we work with local organizations to promote healthy activity and play at local parks and blocking off the streets adjoining those parks to expand those play areas. That's something we started in 2020 as kind of a relief effort during COVID to get folks outdoors and utilizing those resources. And so we just wrapped that up, was able to have many children and families out in those activities. Grateful for our wonderful partners that helped us and helped to sponsor that wonderful event. Dovetailing that this fall, we're launching a redevelopment initiative of Maddie McKinney Hatchet Park, a local neighborhood park that is desperately in need of some updating and upgrading. Maddie McKinney Hatchet is a former elected official, hometown hero for us. And so we're just excited to be playing such a role in the city, honored that the residents and local government would have us do that. And of course, there's many other things going on as well, Tyler, that I'm sure we'll get into.
So give us a little bit more of the details on the redevelopment of the park. What is that redevelopment going to look like? And what is kind of the thought behind that redevelopment, and what's the purpose of going about it the way that the Pontiac Community Foundation is?
That's great. So Maddie McKinney Hatchet Park is about a 2-acre park on the east side of town. And, you know, we've talked previously, Tyler, about Pontiac's challenges coming out of emergency management and receivership and, you know, putting dollars toward parks and recreation and redevelopment of parks that haven't been touched or maintained for many years is a challenge. And so, you know, the neighborhood and particularly Commissioner Emeritus Maddie McKinney Hatchet, who lives near the park, brought this to our attention and said, hey, what if we join together, we invested dollars, redevelop this park, use it as a catalyst in our neighborhoods and city for other park developments, and really create a state-of-the-art space in the midst of the city. And so that's really what we're doing. We're working with 2 of our board members, Kyle Westberg, who owns West Construction, and Patrick Zaremba, who owns Zaremba & Co. Landscape Architects, to put together an incredible design for this park. And then leveraging the goodwill of residents across the area, both in Pontiac and outside of Pontiac, to raise the dollars, and of course other philanthropic partners, and to spend near $500,000 on this park to create new walking paths, new basketball courts, and exercise equipment, all of the amenities that, you know, someone living in a local neighborhood will want in their park. And we're hoping to uplift that need and opportunity in the city of Pontiac.
And those are the kinds of things that are really important to community building, because these are gathering places where neighbors meet each other and build relationships and build that sense of community. It's also where, much like your Open Streets program, where children meet and they play and they get to know the people that are going to be their classmates, their neighbors, and so on, and build those relationships that ultimately foster a stronger community down the line.
That's right. You know, there's several advantages and benefits to doing a development and work like this overall in the community. There's the inherent health benefit. You know, this is a statistic that always, when people hear it, they're just mind boggled. But the city of Pontiac has a 20-year lower life expectancy than surrounding communities. That stat comes directly from the Oakland County Health Department. So promoting healthy play, promoting activity, that's a huge benefit. There's a huge ROI there. Investing in community, getting people together, through community development and citizens district councils and block parties and all those things that promote healthy community are really good. And then just being a good partner with the city. Just being a good partner with our city. I think sometimes those in government, especially as we're seeing it during these COVID times, they get the short end of the stick. And so we can come and be a great partner. I think it spreads goodwill in our community.
We're joined by Dustin McClellan. He is the founder and CEO of the Pontiac Community Foundation with us today on the MegaCast. And to connect the redevelopment of the park with the Open Streets program, let's go back to the Open Streets program because this year is a little bit different than what we went through in 2020 in September and October when you had previously run the Open Streets program initially. So what was the impact of this program in 2021 that was different on the children that were able to have those interactions and have that free play time as opposed to in 2020 as it was more of an uncertainty then, and now it's been more of a reopening and a revision of what we're going to be doing going forward while also still dealing with COVID-19?
That's a great question, Tyler. The initial innovation of this initiative came by way of a local neighborhood group, Friends of the Pontiac Parks Association, that saw both the need to have safety in our local parks through sanitation and signage and those items, but also said, let's use this as an opportunity to get people outdoors. And we're grateful for Oakland County for partnering with us through dollars to make this initiative happen. And of course, when we first launched it in the middle of last year, people were nervous. They were unsure, can we even come outside and recreate and it still be safe? And ensuring that things were properly sanitized and of course social distancing and all the things outside, we were able to make it a worthwhile event and engagement. And so when the opportunity came back this year to do it, people were ready. They were excited. Although we're still dealing with this pandemic, I think through vaccinations and all the other things we have now, I think people are learning how to deal with it. And so the children, the families, the community coming out, even using vendors, those that have food products and other recreation products, Oakland County Parks, Pontiac Youth Recreation, Sheriff Powell groups that weren't able to do their normal programs last year, for them to be able to come out and partner with us is absolutely incredible. And so, I'm hoping that we continue to trend upward, both with, we get through this challenge right now with COVID, but also that we're able to continue to practice healthy community in Pontiac through this initiative.
And these kinds of programs have also been important for children also during this time because of their own isolation because of the pandemic and their own efforts to stay safe. Because while they usually get that kind of playtime and interaction with their peers, from school or from summer programs, that wasn't the case in 2020. That's not been the case in many cases so far in 2021 because of the ongoing pandemic where we've had virtual learning or a hybrid learning situation or social distancing where you're not surrounded by many of your cohorts. And these kinds of programs provide a safe outdoor opportunity to have those interactions that supplement what's not being had in the school.
That's correct. Yeah, we were already seeing challenges in getting folks engaged in local parks and activity prior to the pandemic, where things are just changing as a society, as technology grows and, even in remote learning that was taking place before COVID, now you add all those layers that you just mentioned. It's going to be an ongoing challenge to get this next generation active out of isolation. And we know the other benefits of being around other people, the mental health benefits as well, that we saw so many challenges there that our children were facing and still are facing. There's a fear about going back to school. There's a fear about wearing masks. There's a fear about all those things. And so how do we break through that? Well, we'll let all of the big wigs have the debates on what we should and shouldn't do, but how do we break through what needs to happen for a child to just have a healthy life? So that's what we're really hoping to accomplish.
We're joined by Dustin McClellan, founder and CEO of the Pontiac Community Foundation. And beyond these programs that are in place that are helping children, there's still a number of other things that are in the community, not only in Pontiac, but in our surrounding areas that are still affecting people in terms of COVID-19. What are some of the other efforts that the Pontiac Community Foundation has ongoing right now to help people in the community in Pontiac deal with the ongoing effects of and the ever-changing effects through time of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, that's a great question, Tyler. We've talked previously on the Megacast about our Center for Pontiac Entrepreneurship that we launched last year in the midst of the pandemic, seeing the need that budding small businesses and entrepreneurs had for a mentorship, navigating through COVID, capital, keeping things going and alive during COVID, and then other skills building and networking opportunities. And so we launched that initiative, and we're just so grateful that recently we've been able to give out a number of grants to small businesses in the city of Pontiac. Everything from daycare, child caring centers to food truck vendors, and everything in between, folks that are just really our economic vitality. That's the name of that bucket for us, economic vitality. These people represent the best of it. And so, we had over 100 applicants asking for dollars, still indicating that they were struggling trying to navigate through. And so we're providing another round of grant funding that'll be announced here in the next couple of months for small businesses in Pontiac. And we're excited about continuing to reach the needs there. The other item I'll just mention is our task force on racial health inequities. We received some funding last year, knowing challenges that an underserved community like Pontiac faces, particularly even communities of color faced during COVID. We said, let's do a deep dive analysis and really see what are these perpetuating issues that need to be tackled, need to be identified, and what are those social determinants of health that are different in a city like Pontiac than other communities that we can tackle both now and post-COVID. And so we're grateful for the many leaders that are on that task force. That work is kind of coming to culmination here in the fall. We'll be producing an action plan for the community to take and understand, and others to help pick up alongside of us to move forward some actionable items so that, God forbid the next pandemic comes, it doesn't hit community like Pontiac as hard.
We're joined by Dustin McClellan, founder and CEO of the Pontiac Community Foundation. Dustin, just a few more minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. If people want to get involved with the Pontiac Community Foundation, what are some of the different ways that they can get involved, and what are some of the needs of the foundation right now from other people in the community that want to help their neighbors and their friends and other people in Pontiac?
Yeah, thank you so much, Tyler. Would love for people to check us out on the web, PontiacCommunityFoundation.org, or on Facebook, facebook.com/Pontiac Community Foundation. Would love for you to send me an email, Dustin@PontiacCommunityFoundation.org. Moving forward this park project, finding both sponsors that would love to give monetarily, even those that maybe this year has been great for you. We found that many in construction have had great years, and you say, you know what, we want to do an in-kind gift or bring our employees out to do a volunteer day or something like that for the redevelopment of that Manny McKinney Hatchet Park and for the betterment of the community and the children and the families that so desperately deserve to be valued, that have been underserved for many, many years. This would be a great give back and a great way to wrap up a tumultuous couple of years.
We're joined by Dustin McClellan, founder and CEO of the Pontiac Community Foundation. Dustin, just another minute before we'll say goodbye today. Anything else that it would be important or interesting for our audience to know today about the Pontiac Community Foundation?
Yeah, I'll pivot just a little bit to Pontiac. I know folks are reading, we're having an interesting year, elections, and so many things happening in Pontiac with the Phoenix Center, Ottawa Towers. And I just ask folks in the surrounding communities, don't count Pontiac out. As we get into the fall and the new year, come check us out. Come grab a bite to eat downtown. Come try and do business here. It's a wonderful community that we should all be a part of.
Well, Dustin, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Tyler.